I have a question that I would like to ask you today. Are you asleep during the storm? Are you asleep during the storm? As I was reading in Matthew, and as I was reading in Matthew about when the storm came and when Jesus calmed the storm, and I'm going to read over that. And a storm was going on. And I'm going to read to you how the disciples panicked during the storm. But Jesus was asleep during the storm. So I ask you again, are you asleep during the storm, or do you panic during the storm? And I'm going to read in Matthew 8. And I'm going to read in Matthew 8, and I'm going to start with verse 23. And it's talking about Jesus calming the storm. And it says, "Then Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with his disciples. Suddenly a fierce storm struck the lake, with the waves breaking into the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him up shouting, 'Lord, save us.'" Shouting, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." Jesus responded, verse 26, Jesus responded, "Why are you afraid? You have so little faith." Why are you afraid? You have so little faith. Then he got up. He got up and rebuked the winds and waves, and suddenly all was calm. On today, I want you to think about it. And the question that I ask, are you asleep during the storm? And what a storm can be is anything that's going on in your life. That could be your storm. Somebody right now may be going through something in their relationship. Somebody may be going through something in their marriage. Somebody may be going through something on their job. Somebody may be going through something with their kids. That could be your storm that you're facing right now. But the question is, how are you handling the storm? And while the storm is going on, are you like the disciples? Are you chaotic? Are you all over the place? Or can you truly say, I have faith in the Lord, that no matter what I'm going through, the Lord is going to see me through. Regardless of what I'm going through, I know the Lord is right there and he's going to work it out. How do you handle the storms of life when they come at you? Now, we understand the first initial reaction of you hearing some news or something going on. We can understand that first initial reaction. But after that first initial reaction, after a couple of days go by, a couple of weeks go by, months go by, how are you during the storm? How are you when you naturally hear maybe a loved one is sick? Do you panic the whole time? Do you panic and worry yourself half to death? Or do you say, you know what, Lord, I'm giving it to you and I'm going to sleep during this storm? What about if you hear a loved one has passed away from this world? What do you do? How do you react? How do you react after it all said and done? Do you drink yourself to death? How do you do? How do you handle it? Do you stress out? Worry yourself? What do you do when you find out some news? How do you handle it during the time? Do you break down? Do you just want to lay in that bed all day and never get up? Is that how you handle your storm? Or do you bounce back up and say, Lord, I'm trusting you. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk through because the Lord is saying I'm right with you. How do you handle that storm? Somebody right now is facing marital problems. How are you facing those problems? How are you facing that storm? Have you given it to the Lord, or are you all over the place? See, in some people's storms, they become mean. They become bitter. They become hateful. How are you during the storm? Some people can be real nasty when they're going through things. They take it out on other people. How do you handle your storm? Somebody got some test results that they didn't want to get. How are you handling How are you handling those test results that you get? Are you panicking? Are you going crazy? Are you worrying yourself to death where you can't get no sleep at night until the test results come back? How do you handle the storm? How are you handling it? And should you be asleep during the storm? Because see, just like the disciples, they panicked. And Jesus said, why are you afraid? Ye of little faith. And if we say we have faith in the Lord, are we truly giving it to the Lord? Or do we just say that we're giving it to the Lord, but our actions show that we're not giving it to the Lord? See, we love to say that we trust the Lord. We love to say out our mouth, I'm giving all my burdens to him. But are you truly giving it to him? Because see, a lot of our problems, we go to mom about it, sister about it, friends about it. See, sometimes we giving it to them, but are we truly giving it to him? And on today, some of us need to go to him and we need to start giving it to him. We telling everybody else about what's going on. When is the last time you just went and told the Lord what's going on? When is the last time you just went before the Lord and said, Lord, I'm giving this to you? Because I want you to think about whatever you're going through in life. What can we do? Some things is just out of our hands. What can you do if a loved one is sick? What can you do in that moment? What can you do if a loved one leave this world? What can you do? You can't bring them back to life. We have to get to a place of trusting the Lord, no matter what's going on, and saying, Lord, I'm leaning on you, and Lord, I'm going to trust you. What is it? Somebody is going through some financial hardships, and somebody is literally worrying themselves to death, over that financial hardship that you're going through. The Lord said in his word, I will supply your needs. He knows our needs, and he promised in his word that he will supply all of our needs. So if the Lord know our needs, why can't we trust him and give it to him and say, I'm going to sleep during this storm until it passes? And is that what you need to say on today? Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, Lord, I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to sleep during the storm until it passes. Whatever you got going on with your child, isn't it time to give it to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm giving him or her to you. I'm going to sleep until the storm passes. I ask you on today, are you asleep during the storm? What is it at night that's keeping you up, that you cannot go to sleep, that you're popping pills to go to sleep, that you're drinking yourself to death to go to sleep? What is it that you just need to give it to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm giving it to you? The Lord said in his word, all who are heavy laden, bring your burdens to me. Come to me. Give it to him. Stop giving it to them, and we need to start giving it to him. If we're truly going to trust the Lord, and if we're truly going to give it to the Lord, we got to give it to the Lord. Some of us, it's time to go to sleep. It's time to get rest during the storm. The Lord don't want you up during the storm. Are you up during the storm? And it's time to say, Lord, I'm resting until the storm passes. Some of us right now, whatever it may be that's going on in your life, whatever you may be facing up in your life, that's your storm. But that storm, God is saying, I need you to sleep during the storm, because what the Lord is saying, I'm in control of the storm. I'll be with you in the storm. But we just got to trust that God is right there with us while we're going through the storm. The Lord hasn't left us in the storm. So what is the storm in your life that you're facing right now that's keeping you up at night? What is it that's got you cussing and got you mean and got you nasty and got you taking it out on everybody else because you going through your storm? Somebody is going through a divorce right now, and somebody is mean and nasty to somebody because they're going through that divorce. What is it that you need to give to the Lord and say, Lord, I can't keep doing it this way. I can't keep living this way. What is it that you need to give it to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm ready to submit it to you so I can start doing things your way. On today, the Lord is speaking and the Lord is telling somebody you need to sleep during the storm because the storm will pass over. Are we trusting the Lord? Are we giving it to the Lord and trusting the Lord to say, Lord, I'm trusting you and I will sleep until the storm passes over, because one day it will pass over. The Lord does not need you worrying yourself to death, stressing yourself out during the storm. Do you have faith? Do you have faith that God will take you through the storm, that God will be with you during the storm? Do you have faith that God can get you through the storm, even right at that moment if God don't remove the storm? But God is saying, I'm right with you during the storm. God is saying right now, just because I didn't take it away, it doesn't mean that I went away. Right now, somebody needs to know that the Lord is saying on today, just because I didn't take the storm away, it doesn't mean that I walked away. The Lord is right there with you in whatever you're stressing about and whatever you're going through. The Lord is right with you to help you get through anything that you're going through. But we have to trust the Lord and we have to have faith in the Lord. Seek him and go to the Lord. All our hope, faith, and love comes from him. It's time for us again. We must start leaning on him and stop leaning on them. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.